One of the biggest prospect winners of the Fight Island era as we've known it so far, dubbed Khabib 2.0, and although extremely early in his career, the name might be exactly what he is. Born in Chechnya, the Russian mixed martial artist now fights out of All Stars Training Center in Sweden, alongside the likes of now heavyweight UFC legend Alexander Gustafsson and Ilir Latifi. He's one of those fighters that had their career born on the shores of Fight Island. He and names like Yuri Prohaska, Modestas Baukas, and Munir Lazez all put on winning performances with debuts on Fight Island. However, Chimaev took more steps forward than anyone else compared to the opportunities provided by Fight Island, using the opportunity to break UFC records. For today's video, we are looking at Khamzat Chimaev in the latest episode of Career Retrospective. What's as crazy as Khamzat's quick rise in the UFC to be compared to names like 28-0 world pound-for-pound number 2 Khabib Nurmagomedov is the time it's taken for Khamzat to achieve his 8-0 pro MMA record. Chimaev is only 26 and only started fighting professionally as of May of 2018. And at only 2-0 with 2 finishes, he debuted for the Brave Combat Federation, which in its own right has very talented and potential star mixed martial artists of their own competing on numbered events quite often. Nonetheless, Chimaev went on to dominate like a UFC veteran, a UFC experienced type talent. By his second fight with Brave, as a 3-0 pro in MMA, he already would take over a main event spot at Brave CF20, and this spot was anything but not earned. For his first fight, when he debuted for Brave, he would open the prelims. He would be the first fight of the night against another undefeated fighter and send him to the hospital after stopping him in the first round with a broken jaw. Also forgot to mention one thing about Khamzat's jump from opening fight on the prelim, the opening fight of the night, the first fight on the prelim, to the main event he would take in his next event for Brave. Chimaev would also be jumping from 170 pounds, the welterweight division, to the 185-pound division, the middleweight division, and in this fight he would make his Brave fight career intentions clear. Double champion status for this organization. And after his main event performance, Khamzat would be dubbed the most dangerous man in Brave, and the optimistic claims of a 4-0 fighter winning 2 titles in 2 different weight classes went to a more likely scenario. He made his opponent in the middleweight division, an 8-3 American at the time, submit in 35 seconds via strikes. And the truly impressive part about Khamzat's run is he quickly started displaying different aspects of his game that he implements when it's necessary. He can obviously smash those that can't take the sort of pressure he brings in the grappling exchanges, but Brave at 4-0 would match Chimaev up with an 8-0 combat sambo gold medalist in Ikram Aliskerov. And early in the fight, Khamzat would pressure Ikram against the cage, but he was unable to secure a comfortable position or takedown. And when both guys decided to disengage back to the center of the octagon, it only took 35 seconds from there for Khamzat to deliver a highlight reel knockout finish.
Khamzat, the right hand uppercut knocks him out! He is out! It's a beautiful uppercut!
Gentlemen, I believe we are looking at the future of mixed martial arts.
Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible uppercut.
This is the crazy thing. If he can't take somebody down, he's able to finish them on the feet. And in such a quick career, we haven't seen much of it. He's been able to implement different game plans where he sees fit. But in his final fight for Brave, they would again switch up the stylistic matchup, setting Khamzat up against an explosive striker with knockouts of the year on his resume. And in this one, Khamzat would go back to his wrestling dominance, that exhausting top control style that we saw at UFC Fight Island. From the first 10 seconds of this fight to the end of round number 1,
In the back, here's the takedown.
to the first 10 seconds of the second round, to the Darce choke finish that would put his opponent completely unconscious at 3 minutes and 43 seconds of round number 2. All of the above events that we've discussed, from his first pro fight to 6-0 with 6 finishes, would lead him from May of 2018 to the end of 2019. The undefeated Chechen-Swedish mixed martial artist recently received recognition in his own country. On March 21 of this year, he was elected by the Swedish Martial Arts Association as the Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, and he was also ranked one of the top European MMA prospects outside of the UFC. As well as prior to the coronavirus pandemic, this fast destruction of many prospects in Brave would catch their attention, and he would earn a title shot against the 170-pound king, the Jordanian Lion. However, then the pandemic struck and the fight was postponed. The fight would actually never materialize as it was canceled via the coronavirus, and Khamzat would step away from Brave with the opportunity on Fight Island presenting itself in the form of a potential medical issue for middleweight Dusko Todorovic. It was announced on July 9th that Khamzat would be stepping in to fight John Phillips on July 15th. And again, the welterweight Khamzat Chimaev would, like he has done before, step into the UFC for his UFC debut at 185 pounds in the middleweight division. And Khamzat, once again, even with the weight jump, would put his opponent on the back in the very first seconds of the fight. Phillips did not want to be there, and generating an unbelievable amount of power from the top positions, Khamzat cut Phillips open early, and it's safe to say John Phillips absolutely just survived the first round. Because when they walked out in that very second round, it was quickly all she wrote. The defeated Phillips tapped at 347 in the second round via a Darce choke that we've seen Khamzat land before in his career. Then Khamzat would go on to make UFC history after absolutely dominating John Phillips, outlanding him by 42 strikes, absorbing only one significant strike, and earning a performance of the night bonus. He'd asked Dana White for another shot just 10 days later, and the boss man Dana White would oblige the request, getting him a fight again on Fight Island. I thought, in my personal opinion, this was a brilliant move from Khamzat Chimaev because he would not have to travel once again like his opponent, nor would he give his opponent any time to prepare for such a devastating style that's already so hard to prepare for. Khamzat would also be returning to welterweight, so he would give up that 15-pound advantage that he gave to John Phillips, and he would have the significant size advantage against his opponent. So, with all this being said, going into his next fight, he would close as the minus 1,667 favorite and absolutely demolish the debuting Rhys McKee, stopping the fight in the very first round, again outstriking his opponent by 40-plus strikes, but this time absorbing 0 significant strikes on his own end. That would set an amazing mark of, I think it was 83-2 or 83-1 significant strike as recorded by UFCstats.com. And this wrapped up a historic 10-day period for Khamzat, who has now put himself on the map amongst the UFC's top welterweights. Some respected media members are even going as far to insinuate he might be a top 5 welterweight, or at the very least favored among some of the top 15 in that division. Either way, however you think this guy is going to be, you better, if you're an MMA fan, be excited for the style that this guy brings to the table, because he's not wrestling you to finish. He's not wrestling you to win decisions. He's wrestling you to smash you. In a quote, he said, "I'm going to finish everybody."
I'm going to finish everybody. I always look at the finish and smash somebody, knock him out like I did all my fights.
I always look for the finish. Smash somebody, knock somebody out. So he's not grappling for the love of grappling. He's grappling to get you tired, to exhaust you, and beat your ass. So I'm so excited to see what this guy has to bring to the table. And he has one of those traits that you look for in any active UFC fighter, and that's his willingness. And his willingness is not going to go and will not go unnoticed by the UFC. I'm excited to see where they go. Hopefully, in my opinion, they should just make him the prospect destroyer for a couple years. Get him to 13, 14, 15-0 against UFC guys. Get him to 7-0 in the UFC, and then unleash this guy on the top 170 pounders in the world. Because again, this guy can do it against 185ers, and he can do it against 170ers. But that'll do it for today's video, guys. In that comment section below, I want you guys to let me know what you think about Khamzat Chimaev. And as for this video, that'll do it. Remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn notifications on. But again, like all of Chimaev's opponents up to date, that finishes this video. Peace out, guys.